I'm Richard Jimerson. I'm with the Internet Society's Deployment and Operationalization team, and I want to invite you or welcome you to the Internet Society Internet On conference series. What we do at this conference series is we seek out very prominent events where we have operators or sysadmins or other types of users, and we co-locate with them. We're co-locating, of course, here today with Usenix Lisa, but we've also co-located with Interop and some other events around the globe. So you're going to find us at a co-located event here in several different places around the world. These are geodiverse meetings, so we do them on every continent, and we seek out different types of audiences. Sometimes we speak to government audiences, sometimes we speak to technology audiences, and today this is a very highly technical audience, and we hope that you find that the panelists and the speakers that we brought today actually suit your needs, and you can get some answers to some questions that you have, and I think that you will. So, for those of you who don't know the Internet Society already, the Internet Society is a nonprofit organization. Our motto is, the Internet is for everyone. We're the organizational home to the Internet Engineering Task Force, and we have lots of different types of programs at the Internet Society. Some of them are technology programs. Some of the technology programs that you may be familiar with is we work together with industry to do World IPv6 Day and World IPv6 launch recently. And we do roundtables with operators around the globe on technology topics. And we have programs like this, where we provide education or conversation spaces for these technologies. But we also do a great deal of work in the public policy space. We have a lot of Internet Society staff participating, for instance, this week in Dubai for the WCIT. We have civil society programs and education programs, all kinds of different things. But today we're talking about technology. So, today, we're going to be talking about DNSSEC. There's going to be a little bit of RPKI that fits in here through Pete Toscano's presentation, and perhaps even during the last panel that's here today. And we're also talking about IPv6. Those are the three topics that we're primarily interested in today. And we see these as the future of the Internet. All of us are going to be using these at some point in the future, so we want to make sure that we're having conversations about them regularly. We're going to do a break after Pete Toscano's presentation at 2 o'clock, and we're going to talk a bit after that with our panel about DNSSEC deployment, from end customer to content. And then our final panel of the day is going to be advancing the network, where we've been and where we're headed. So please stay with us through the entire session this afternoon. We much appreciate it. I want to give a special thank you from the Internet Society to Usenix. Usenix actually provided this space for us here today to meet with you. They accept co-location partners every year, a small handful of them, and we're very excited that the Internet Society can be one of those. And the Internet Society is very thankful to Usenix for this. One of the things that we'll be doing today also is we're going to be doing a giveaway. Look around in the room. There aren't too many people in the room. A few of the people in the room are actually working with me at the Internet Society, and they're not eligible, but we're going to do a raffle at the end of the day today. And so what we have is you may already have it, if not we'll pass these out, but we've got this trifold brochure, talks a little bit about our program and what we're doing, and there's a little survey in the back of it. Real simple questions. We'd ask you to fill that thing out at the end to help give us feedback on how we do these programs going forward. And we're just going to pick one of these at the end out of a box, and that person will win the iPad. Now, a little bit about the feedback that we do get, and the program that I'm going to talk to you about this morning, getting started, is the Internet Society's Deploy 360 program. So this is something that the Internet Society launched in January of this year, so it's just about a year old right now. But the Usenix Lisa audience is actually one of the groups that we talked to before we started this program. The reason we started this program is to help people with their deployments of new standards and technologies coming out of the IETF. So we see at the Internet Society that there's an information gap, perhaps, between the IETF and all of the operators around the world. And we were interested in communication going in both directions. So we started with Deploy 360 earlier this year to take things that were coming out of the IETF, these RFCs that were coming out of the IETF, to find ways to simplify the information and to help educate operators around the globe who may not, for whatever reason, want to go pick up an RFC. Maybe they don't know about them. I think most of them do. Or they just don't feel it's something they can use that's practical, that's going to help them actually make a deployment or do their deployments. So we created this resource, the Internet Society Deploy 360 program, to bridge that information gap. And the two topics that we've covered so far this year are IPv6 and DNS security. So we have a lot of resource information there, but we're still growing this. And later this month, we're going to be adding another topic. The topic is going to be titled routing, but what we're going to be talking about is routing security. So for the first couple of months, perhaps to a year that we're talking about this topic, we're going to be talking about best current operational practices for routing security. Things that you can do today, minus adopting new technologies that can help better secure your routing infrastructure. Later on, we'll likely introduce some technology topics under routing like RPKI or Secure BGP. Or there may be some other things that we actually introduce there. There may be some other technologies that gain favor inside the industry. But at first, we're just going to talk about best current operational practices. So that's just one direction. And the way that we talk to people about this is through this web portal. So we have a lot of information here. It's curated information, information that we've gone and found to be up-to-date, current, and useful. We feature that from the Deploy 360 program. And we also find information gaps where something doesn't exist yet or that only exists behind a paywall. So we'll work with individuals, experts around the globe to actually put together content and publish that here at the Deploy 360 program and get that out so folks have that and it's available to them. We're going to continue doing that, and that will continue to be available. But we also do these ION meeting series where we talk to people at other events around the globe. And we strive to get on agendas in other places and talk to people about these things to let them know that this is available. This resource is completely open. There's no paywall for it. And you or your peers or someone that you might be helping can go actually gain information from this. They don't have to be a member of the Internet Society. They don't have to pay anything to gain access to this resource. So, you know, I would really appreciate it if you point people to this. It's very helpful now. It's going to be even more helpful going forward into the future. So that's the direction going from the IETF to the operators. This is the way that we're trying to help with information there. The other thing that we're interested in inside deployment and operationalization here at the Internet Society, and it'll be done under this tag Deploy 360, is communication going back from the operators into the IETF. The IETF gets a fair amount of criticism today about not having enough operator feedback. Area directors may not be getting the feedback they need from the people who are actually running these protocols, who are deploying these technologies, who may have concerns that need to be addressed inside the IETF process. So what we're going to be doing in 2013 is actually studying that issue. How do we improve operator feedback into the IETF processes? As the organizational home to the IETF, we're going to work very closely with IETF leadership to go over some proposals with them about how we can actually improve that, things that we can do. We're going to find what resonates well inside the IETF, and then we're going to conduct heavy outreach with operator groups to find this method of improving operator feedback into the IETF. A lot of people have joked over the years that it's not the IETF, it's the IVTF, Internet Vendor Task Force. And I don't know if that's valid or not, but we're going to do everything we can to make sure that there's more operator feedback going into the IETF. So please take a look here, and if you see things going on with this, if you think of ways that you can help, we'll be glad to have you help us out with that. So, other things that we do here, we do case studies. We seek out organizations that have already done their deployments, and we find those people that, one, have a technology person inside the organization who's willing to help put something like this together, and two, that has an executive inside their organization that's willing to approve that we can publish their case study at an open resource like this. We took those things, we put them out here, we published them, and we think that people have found that very helpful, and we find that people are using those. And we've also split this out so that we have resources that are specific to certain audiences. We're still building those out, but where we actually got that from is last year when we had a presentation here at Usenix Lisa, and that we had a full room, and we were talking to people about what we were going to do, what we were actually going to create. We hadn't done this yet, and we got some feedback from the audience there and from a few other audiences that we went to on these trifold brochures and from audience questions. They actually helped us form these different audience groups, and we're still building those out. But we're right now conducting a survey with some people outside of the Internet Society to determine if we might need to switch that up a little bit, and we may be doing that. So, with that, I provided the introduction. I think we're going to have some great conversations here today. I invite everyone to be active at the microphone, to come up and ask questions of the panelists or the speakers. And the first speaker that we're going to have today is Pete Toscano of Aaron. Pete's been with Aaron for several years. Before he was with Aaron, he was with VeriSign, and he does some very great work there, and he's going to be talking to us today about Aaron's support for DNSSEC and RPKI.